Good evening and welcome to Sabha TV. My name is Aditi Nagpal Girotra and you're watching News Tonight, where we bring you news updates from India and around the world. The World Health Organization is hopeful that the coronavirus crisis will be over in less than 2 years. WHO Chief Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus says the world can end the COVID-19 pandemic faster than it took to finish the 1918 Spanish flu pandemic.
Amid a global count of nearly 23 million COVID-19 cases, the head of the World Health Organization says it should be possible to tame the pandemic in 2 years. Calling it a once-in-a-century crisis, the WHO chief says globalization allowed the infection to spread faster than the 1918 pandemic. But better technology can help the world get rid of it faster than a century ago.
Of course, with more connectedness, the virus has better chance of spreading. It can move fast because we are more connected now. But at the same time, we have also the technology to stop it and the knowledge to stop it. So we have a disadvantage of globalization, closeness, connectedness, but an advantage of better technology. So we hope to finish this pandemic before less than 2 years, especially if we can pull our efforts together and with national unity, global solidarity. That's really key, with utilizing the available tools to the maximum and hoping that we can have additional tools like vaccine. I think we can finish it in a shorter time than the 1918 flu.
Urging global solidarity and unity in the fight against COVID-19, the WHO Director General said the key is to use all available tools to the maximum and add additional ones like an effective vaccine. WHO has noted that while pandemic viruses often settle into seasonal patterns, it was not the case for the novel coronavirus. COVID-19 has killed nearly 8 lakh people so far. The Spanish flu has killed 50 million victims and infected around 500 million around the world since February 1918. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
COVID-19 infections in India are nearing 3 million or 30 lakhs after close to 70,000 cases on Friday pushed India's total infections to over 29.75 lakh. Over 22 lakh patients have recovered. The case fatality is 1.87%.
India recorded its biggest single-day jump in coronavirus cases with 69,878 new infections on Friday. Total infections in the country are now over 29,75,000, out of which 22 lakh people have recovered. 945 deaths in the last 24 hours have pushed the death toll to 55,794. Currently, India has close to 7 lakh active cases. The recovery rate is 74.69%. India tested the highest number of over 1 million or 10 lakh samples on Friday. About 34 million samples have been tested so far. The daily testing capacity has almost doubled within August itself. Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh have tested the maximum number of samples. India now ranks third in the world with only China at 90.4 million and the United States at 74.7 million having tested more samples. The positivity rate, though above the WHO approved 5%, has also declined. The TPR stood at 6.82% this morning, but it needs to go down further. In the last 7 days, from 15th to 21st of August, over 4,49,000 new cases were added at an average of 64,215 cases daily. Recoveries stood at 4,13,000, reporting 59,000 new recoveries every day on an average during this period. While the death rate at 1.87% is one of the lowest globally, India has reported 6,758 deaths in the 15 to 21st August period, reporting 965 deaths every day on an average. In the last 24 hours, Maharashtra, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu and Uttar Pradesh reported the biggest jump in total cases. These also have the maximum caseload in the country and have been contributing the highest number of cases for the last several days. Maharashtra has a total caseload of over 6,57,000, out of which 4,70,000 patients have recovered. The state has seen 21,698 deaths so far. Tamil Nadu has a total caseload of 3,67,000, but more than 3 lakh patients have recovered, while 6,340 people have died so far in the state. With 3,34,000 total cases, Andhra Pradesh has the third highest caseload in the country. The state has seen 2,44,000 recoveries and over 3,000 deaths so far. Neighbouring Karnataka has a total caseload of 2,64,000, including 1,76,000 people recovering and 4,500 deaths. Uttar Pradesh is the fifth worst hit state with 1,77,000 total cases, including 1,26,000 recoveries and close to 2,800 deaths. India, the third worst affected nation after the United States and Brazil, has reported the highest number of daily cases globally for the last 18 days. The United States has over 56 lakh cases so far, and Brazil has over 35 lakh cases. Globally, 2,29 lakh people have contracted the virus so far, while over 7,98,000 people have died. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
The centre on Saturday asked all states to ensure that interstate and intrastate movement of people and goods is not restricted during the unlock process.
In a letter to Chief Secretaries of all states and union territories, Union Home Secretary Ajay Bhalla said there were reports that local level restrictions were being imposed on the movement. This, he said, was impacting supply chains and disrupting economic activity and employment. The Home Secretary said that such restrictions are a violation of Home Ministry guidelines that have been issued under provisions of Disaster Management Act 2005. He added that action be taken for violating Para 5 of the Unlock 3 guidelines that prohibits states and union territories from restricting interstate travel. The guidelines say that no permission, approval or e-permit is required for movement of persons and goods for cross-land border trade.
Update on health condition of Pranab Mukherjee. The former president continues to remain in a deep coma, but his vital parameters are stable.
Doctors attending to the 84-year-old said he is being treated for respiratory infection and continues to be on ventilator support. Mukherjee was admitted to the Army's Research and Referral Hospital in Delhi Cantonment on 10th of August. He was operated for removal of a clot in his brain the same day. Mukherjee had also tested positive for COVID-19. He developed a lung infection later and is being treated at the hospital.
The global death count due to COVID-19 touched 8 lakh on Saturday. Total cases neared 23 million.
The United States accounted for over 5.79 million cases, while total deaths crossed 1.75 lakh. Brazil had 30,355 cases in 24 hours. Its total cases crossed 3.5 million. Over 1.14 lakh people have died of the disease. On Friday, President Jair Bolsonaro said the country was restoring work and normal life. Brazil created over 1.31 lakh formal jobs in July. In Spain, over 11,000 cases were reported in Madrid alone in the past 7 days. Authorities are asking citizens to stay at homes in affected areas to limit the spread of the virus. Germany reported a record daily spike of over 2,000 coronavirus cases on the day. Britain has added Croatia to its quarantine list following a spike in its coronavirus cases. From Saturday, people arriving from Croatia will have to self-isolate for 14 days. Lebanon reimposed partial coronavirus lockdown, including night curfew from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. The country reported its highest daily infections on Friday with 628 new cases and 3 deaths. Australia's Victoria reported 13 new coronavirus deaths on Saturday, while new infections remained below 200 for the second day in a row.
Look, not a great deal to say. It's great to see 2 days in a row under 200. Certainly we're trending down. That is showing up in the stabilisation in our hospital figures as well. We've got a decrease in the hospitalised number of patients, a decrease in the number in ICU and even ventilated. So the overall trend is positive.
Meanwhile, Queensland limited all gatherings to 10 people after a fresh outbreak was found at a youth detention centre. South Korea is expanding tighter social distancing rules nationwide from Sunday to curb the spread of the coronavirus. Measures include closing entertainment venues like nightclubs, karaoke bars and internet cafes, among others. Hong Kong will begin mass testing of residents for COVID-19 from 1st of September. It faced a resurgence of locally transmitted cases in early July, but the daily number has fallen in recent weeks. China sent 50 nucleic acid testing personnel to assist Hong Kong in mass testing. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Russia will start mass testing its COVID-19 vaccine Sputnik V next week.
Developed by Moscow's Gamaleya Institute, the vaccine will be tested on more than 40,000 people at 45 medical centers. Johnson & Johnson is likely to begin Phase 3 trials for its potential COVID-19 vaccine from September. 60,000 healthy volunteers above the age of 18 will take part in the trials. American firm Moderna and Pfizer are also conducting Phase 3 human trials of COVID-19 vaccine with 30,000 volunteers. China has said its affordable COVID-19 vaccine will be available to people worldwide. It has started Phase 3 clinical trials in Peru. The vaccine is also undergoing trials in the United Arab Emirates. Cuba will start clinical trials of a potential vaccine called Sovereign 1 next week. The vaccine developed by Finlay Institute will involve 676 people. Meanwhile, the World Health Organization is urging people to prepare to live with the COVID-19 virus, saying vaccines alone will not end the pandemic.
Even a vaccine will not be the end of the pandemic. The end of the pandemic will be the day when every one of us will take the responsibility and have been learning how to behave with the virus. And that depends on us. That day can even be tomorrow.
At least 6 potential COVID-19 vaccines are in Phase 3 trials globally.
Total sowing area coverage under Kharif crops in the country has registered an increase of more than 8.5% this year compared to the corresponding period of last year.
Kharif crops have been sown in nearly 1,063 lakh hectare area across the country till now. Cultivation of one of the staple crops, rice, has also witnessed an increase of nearly 12% in its total sowing area, whereas oilseed cultivation has registered a spike of over 14%. Pulses too have registered a 6.77% increase in the sowing area this year. 6% higher rainfall than normal in the country has also raised hopes of a bumper Kharif produce this year.
Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu has complimented all farmers for their painstaking efforts in achieving a record planting of paddy and other crops despite COVID-19 pandemic.
In a social media post, Venkaiah Naidu said, "Thanks to good rains, Kharif sowing has increased by 8.6% as compared to the same week last year." He said agriculture is India's basic culture and is one of the mainstays of the economy. Naidu said that it needs to be protected and promoted. Hailing the farmers, Annadata Sukhi Bhava, the Vice President said people should always be grateful to farmers who are toiling day and night, irrespective of nature's vagaries, to feed millions of people.
Agriculture and Farmers Welfare Minister Narendra Singh Tomar has emphasized on the need to ensure that full benefit of 1 lakh crore rupees Agri-Infrastructure Fund reaches to the small and medium farmers.
Tomar said that the Prime Minister has allocated a large fund for the farmers, which is a historical step. The scheme will support agri-entrepreneurs, farmer producers organizations in building community farming assets and post-harvest agriculture infrastructure. The minister said this while addressing a meeting with chief ministers and state agriculture ministers on recent agriculture market reforms. He said various reforms and schemes have been launched by the government to strengthen the vision for the agriculture sector. These include the Agriculture Infrastructure Fund, the scheme for facilitation and promotion of 10,000 FPOs, 3 recent ordinances and benefits released under PM Kisan and Kisan Credit Card for the farmers.
रिफॉर्म इसीलिए किए गए हैं कि कुल मिला के किसान की माली हालत सुधरे, गांव की अर्थव्यवस्था को बल मिले, किसान को उसके उत्पाद का उचित दाम मिले। इस दिशा में यह सरकार के महत्वपूर्ण कदम हैं।
The centre has constituted the National Council for Transgender Persons.
The council was announced in a gazette notification issued late on Friday. It is constituted as per Section 16 of the Transgender Persons Protection of Rights Act 2019. The council will be headed by the Union Social Justice Minister. The council will have joint secretary level members from the Ministries of Health, Home, Minority Affairs, Education, Rural Development, Labour and Law. It will have representatives from 10 central departments, 5 states and members of the community. There will also be a member each from the Department of Pensions, Niti Aayog, National Human Rights Commission and the National Commission for Women. The council will advise the centre on formulation of policies, programs and legislations with respect to transgender persons. It will also monitor and evaluate impact of these policies and programs. The council will review and coordinate between all departments. Redressing grievances of transgender persons is another major role of the council.
The Rail Ministry has cancelled the tender for manufacturing 44 semi-high-speed Vande Bharat trains.
In a statement, the ministry said on Friday that a fresh tender will be floated within a week, focusing on the centre's Make in India program. The move comes after a Chinese joint venture company, CRRC Pioneer Electric India Private Limited, emerged as the only foreign bidder among the 6 contenders. The railway's integrated coach factory based in Chennai had floated a tender for manufacturing 44 train sets of semi-high-speed Vande Bharat trains on July 10th. It is the third such tender floated for these trains. The Railway Minister has planned to produce 160 coaches in 2019-20, 240 coaches in 2020-21 and 240 coaches in 2021-22 at the ICF.
The Uttar Pradesh State Assembly passed several key bills today before the brief monsoon session was adjourned sine die.
The bills passed include the Uttar Pradesh Public Health and Epidemic Disease Control Bill 2020, Cow Slaughter Prevention Amendment Bill 2020 and Uttar Pradesh Recovery of Damages to Public and Private Properties Bill 2020. The bills were passed amid opposition protests against the state government over law and order and the handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath gave a statement on the law and order situation and measures to deal with the pandemic, asserting that Uttar Pradesh was much better poised than other states on both the fronts. He also attacked the opposition for being bereft of issues and trying to mislead people.
The Joint Entrance Exam Main and National Eligibility and Entrance Test will be held as scheduled.
In a press statement on Friday, the National Testing Agency that conducts the exams said the examination will be held with due precautions. The NTA functions under the Ministry of Education. JEE Main is scheduled to be held from 1st to 6th September, while NEET is scheduled to be held on the 13th of September. Owing to the rising number of COVID-19 cases, students have asked for the exam that has been postponed twice to be further deferred. The NTA also referred to the Supreme Court that had on Monday dismissed a plea seeking postponement of the exams. It said that 99.07% of JEE Main aspirants and 99.87% of NEET candidates will be offered their preferred choice of exam centres. The NTA has also prepared a comprehensive advisory on COVID-19 exam centre management. Admit cards for JEE Main exam have already been issued. Around 6.5 lakh students have downloaded them.
Heavy rains have submerged low-lying areas and snapped road links in many states, including Odisha, Uttarakhand and Gujarat, even as the flood situation worsened in Bihar, with the number of people affected by the deluge increasing to 89.92 lakh in the state.
The flood situation in Bihar remains grim. Besides the 16 districts already affected, 5 more panchayat areas have faced flood fury in the past 24 hours. The hill state of Uttarakhand saw traffic disrupted on several roads leading to Badrinath, Kedarnath and Yamunotri due to landslides. In Odisha, incessant downpour has increased water level in several rivers, submerging many low-lying areas and claiming 2 lives. In Gujarat, 131 roads, including a national highway and 7 state highways, were shut for traffic following heavy rain in several parts of the state. Heavy to very heavy rainfall is predicted over the state for the next 48 hours. The Met Department has issued an orange alert for Mumbai, Thane, Palghar, Raigad, Ratnagiri and Sindhudurg for the next 24 hours. In Telangana, hundreds of people have been shifted to safer places in Bhadradri Kothagudem district following heavy rain while relief and rescue operations continue. Floods claimed 4 lives in Andhra Pradesh as the flow in the Godavari intensified and water level inched near the danger mark. The IMD has issued a red alert for 6 districts of Madhya Pradesh as downpour continued in several parts of the state. Meanwhile, on Saturday, Home Guards and the Madhya Pradesh Disaster Response Force rescued 85 people and 24 cattle trapped in floods in Bhopal district. Incessant rain in the last 24 hours has left many areas in the state inundated.
The government has announced the list of awardees for National Sports Awards 2020.
Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna will be awarded to cricketer Rohit Sharma, para-athlete Mariappan Thangavelu, table tennis player Manika Batra, wrestler Vinesh Fogart, and Indian women's hockey team captain Rani Rampal. 27 sportspersons have been selected for the Arjuna Award this year. They include archer Atanu Das, athlete Duti Chand, cricketer Ishant Sharma and Deepti Sharma, footballer Sandesh Jhingan, hockey players Akashdeep Singh and Deepika, para-athlete Sandeep and parachuter Manish Nerwal. Dronacharya Award in the lifetime category will be given to Dharmendra Tiwari for archery, Purushottam Rai for athletics, Shiv Singh for boxing, Romesh Pathania for hockey, Krishna Kumar Hooda for kabaddi, Vijay Balchandra Munishwar for para powerlifting, Naresh Kumar for tennis and Om Prakash Dahiya for wrestling. In regular category, Dronacharya Award will be given to Jude Felix Sebastian for hockey, Yogesh Malviya for Malkham, Jaspal Rana for shooting, Kuldeep Kumar Handu for wushu and Gaurav Khanna for para badminton. 15 sportspersons will receive the Dhyan Chand Award. The awardees will receive their awards from President Ramnath Kovind at a virtual ceremony on the 29th of this month, which is National Sports Day.
People across the country on Saturday celebrated Ganesh Chaturthi, the first day of the 10-day-long festival to mark the birth of Lord Ganesha.
Bringing clay idols of Lord Ganesha to their homes, they worship the deity who symbolizes wisdom, prosperity and good fortune. President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu and Prime Minister Narendra Modi greeted people on the auspicious occasion. Greeting the nation, President Kovind prayed for Lord Ganesha's blessings for everyone to speedily overcome the COVID-19 pandemic and live a happy and healthy life. The President called upon people to pledge to strengthen mutual harmony, fraternity and unity among all citizens of the country. In his message to the nation, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu said, Lord Ganesha is revered as an embodiment of wisdom, prosperity and good fortune. He said people seek Lord Ganesha's blessings to remove obstacles in the path before they begin anything new. The Vice President also urged fellow citizens to strictly adhere to COVID-19 physical distancing protocols and maintain good hygiene while celebrating the festival. Vice President Venkaiah Naidu also performed Ganesh Puja at his official residence with his family members. Greeting the people on the auspicious festival, Prime Minister Narendra Modi hoped that the blessings of Lord Ganesha will bless people with joy and prosperity.
The 10-day Onam celebrations began today and will culminate with Thiruvoram on 31st August. Attam, the first day of the 10-day-long Onam celebrations, is usually marked by a grand procession and cultural display. However, this year, due to COVID-19, the only event that was marked was flag hoisting, signalling the start of celebrations. We leave you with visuals of colourful rangolis made of flowers as Malayalis across the world celebrate the harvest festival.